speaking of engaging, so that's great. We'll move right along into one of the most engaging topics someone could ever possibly talk about. Something so riveting and so exciting that we're fully going to understand it together, and that's the 2008 financial crisis.
That sounds... I wouldn't use
The
the
Big
word
Short!
engaging.
Michael, how are you?
I found something really interesting.
The whole housing market is propped up on these bad loans. They will fail.
The housing market is rock solid.
It's a time bomb.
So Mike Burry, who gets his hair cut at Supercuts and doesn't wear shoes, knows more than Alan Greenspan.
Dr. Mike Burry, yes, he does.
You know what? I'm pissed off. American people are getting screwed by the big banks. And I am getting madder and madder.
It's unbelievable.
Then this guy walks into my office and says,
there's some shady stuff going down. All the banks were having a big old party. A few outsiders saw what no one else could. The whole world economy might collapse.
No, I'm kidding.
I wouldn't use the word engaging, but
about The Big Short, which, okay, all right, number one, yeah, I'm not American. Now, here's the thing about the 2008 financial crisis. I do remember it. Like, I remember being reasonably socially aware. Like, at the time in high school, like, they taught us how to buy stock. We had an entire section in one of my classes devoted to teaching us how to buy stuff on the stock market. It was like a project in high school. So, like, I remember it happening, but, like, I never understood it, and I'd be interested to know, this is one of those times where I'd love to know what Jake thinks about this movie, and maybe he can explain it, because off the top, I enjoy this movie. We've often talked about how much I love a good fourth wall break. This movie's really great there's times in the movie where it'll be like, you don't understand any of this. Like, it'll just cold stop to explain a concept or an idea to you. At one point, I explained...
Yeah, Wolf of Wall Street does that.
Yeah, Wolf of Wall Street does a very similar thing. But this one's more prolonged, where it's like, it'll be like, you don't know what I can't remember what... The whole thing's based on a particular financial concept, but I'm going to call it a CFO.
This means nothing to you.
Yeah, I can't remember what the actual acronym is. I'm going to call it a CFO. Like, you don't know what a CFO is, so here's Margot Robbie in a bathtub to explain it to you, in a bubble bath to explain it to you.
It's pretty confusing, right? Does it make you feel bored or stupid? Well, it's supposed to. Wall Street loves to use confusing terms to make you think only they can do what they do. Or even better, for you just to leave them the fuck alone. So here's Margot Robbie in a bubble bath to explain.
Basically, Louis Raineri's mortgage bonds were amazingly profitable for the big banks. They made billions and billions on their 2% fee they got for selling each of these bonds. But then they started running out of mortgages to put in them. After all, there are only so many homes and so many people with good enough jobs to buy them, right? So the banks started filling these bonds with riskier and riskier mortgages. Thank you, Banjo. That way, they can keep that profit machine churning, right? By the way, these risky mortgages are called subprime. So whenever you hear subprime, think shit. Our friend Michael Burry found out that these mortgage bonds that were supposedly 65% AAA were actually just mostly full of shit. So now he's going to short the bonds, which means to bet against. Got it? Okay.
And then for like 4 minutes, Margot Robbie in a bubble bath explains a financial concept to you. And you're like, the problem is they say these acronyms so much. And yeah, the movie does stop to explain to you what it means, but still, it does like a very surface level explanation. So there's just so many times where I'm like, I don't get this. Like, they keep saying that this is going to destroy the world and, like, cause a worldwide economic collapse, and every economy in the world is going to collapse. But it for me, as a person who doesn't get this, it just seems like it's just a bunch of men that saying that will happen, and then it happened. Like, you know what I mean? Where it's like, this only happened because you guys just said it did. Like, there's no...
I mean, yeah, that's how money works. Things only matter because we all agree that they matter.
And then,
otherwise, just pieces of paper.
And then the thing that inevitably, I'm just going to bounce around here, but the thing that inevitably prevents the crash is that they all these Wall Street guys, okay. Basically, according to this movie, what happened was all of the... there's all these subprime mortgages that were bad mortgages and bad loans. And the movie never really explains what that means, like what makes a loan bad, but they just said there are a bunch of bad loans that are on the verge of defaulting, failing. And I guess that's based on, like, they would give loans to people who had no means of paying it back just to make money off of them, to make the banks rich. I'm doing a very poor job of explaining this. I'm sorry. And one guy discovered really, really early on, played by Christian Bale, that all of these loans were going to fail. And I don't know if you remember the GameStop thing where they shorted the stock.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Well, they shorted they basically bet against the government and shorted all of these mortgages. So they knew it was going to fail. And then the government just said that it didn't fail. So, like, all these guys in this movie... this movie is basically devoted amongst 3 different kind of storylines. So there's Christian Bale, there's Steve Carell, there's Brad Pitt, and 2 other guys, and they all essentially, like, saw that the economy and all of these loans were gonna fail, bet against it, and then made a bunch of money off of it. And they're like, oh, like, if we do this, if we go through with this, it's going to effectively, like, destroy the American economy. We're going to make a bunch of money. And at one point, Brad Pitt gets pissed. Like, you guys are cheering, like, for this, but you're not seeing all the negative consequences of, like, of all the people who are going to, like, lose their homes and lose their insurance and lose all this thing. We're, like, destroying all these people's lives for what? But then they do it anyway. Like, it's weird. Like, Steve Carell is, like, he plays this kind of this character who is based on a real person, but it's not their exact name. And at one point he's like, yeah, we're doing this awful thing, and his whole bit, the whole movie, is he's bitching about the system and how awful the system is, but he's participating in the very system he's complaining about, and it's just hypocrisy.
I mean, yeah, that sounds like that sounds extremely realistic, and like it was definitely based on real life.
Yeah, but that's what's really cool is when I was reading about this movie, is it is apparently 92% accurate to real life. Like, apparently a lot of this movie just happened. But the thing I love about it is, yeah, again, there's moments in the movie where the movie just goes, like, it just stops and the character looks at the camera and goes, look, this isn't exactly how it happened. It probably happened more like this with these guys in this place, but who cares? That's not the point. This is the point. And I was like, oh, that's neat. That's fun. And yeah, it does take concepts and ideas that are, I mean, I still found it confusing, but, like, it dumbs them down enough to where you're like, okay, I kind of understand what's going on. But yeah, it's just my main issue is it's just like, it's a lot of, like, them saying bad things are happening, where you're like, they just kind of like, you just kind of got to take their word for it. They're the guys who know what they're talking about, and they're saying this is bad without actually explaining it to you fully, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, again, I don't know how to. That just sounds like real life.
You explained. You experienced probably a similar thing in Wolf of Wall Street. We'll talk about later, where they just say a lot of acronyms. They're like,
yeah,
it's an IBCB, and you're like, what the heck is that? And they say what that stands for, like, once, but then, like, 30 minutes later, after they've said a bunch of other acronyms, so I spent a lot of time watching the movie Googling what these acronyms meant, because I'm like, they keep saying random combinations of letters and just saying that they're bad without actually saying why they're bad.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
these are subprime loans that are picked off and blah, 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 and you're like, none of these words mean anything to me.
That's where, for me, like, at a certain point, that's just movie jargon.
Yeah.
Or, like, it in terms of like I'm watching this like it's a movie. It's just stuff that they're saying to tell you how bad it is.
But like, I will give this movie this. Like, I found this highly entertaining. It's totally worth checking out. But it did make this stuff kind of approachable. Where you're like, okay, yeah, I do actually kind of feel like I learned something. So I appreciated that. But yeah, I enjoyed it. The Big Short. That was The Big Short. Worth checking out.
All right.
It's also,
So,
by the way, not the weirdest thing I watched this week. You know what, Jordan? We're gonna add an additional game to this. I'm gonna let you guess what is the weirdest thing I watched this week, and you're gonna guess it when I say it. I guarantee it. Hey there, everybody. It's Endcard Justin here. Yeah. I still don't understand the 2008 financial crisis. Maybe someone in the comments could explain it to me in, a few sentences or less, or heck, leave an essay. It's up to you. But in the meantime, if you'd like to see the full podcast that this video is from, our Based on a True Story special, you click the box on the left. Or if you just want to see a random video YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy, click the box on the right. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. We put new videos out 7 days a week. Or you can just leave us a like. That helps us out too. We'll see you all in the next video.